This is our new shop sink. The faucet, you should have seen it before Eddie got it so nice and clean. He had to run and get some fittings to get this all plumbed in. That's when I noticed the new faucet. So he said that that was his contribution to Patreon this month.
Well, I'm probably going to use this sink almost as much as you. So.
Yeah. Well, we've been needing one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of wanting to get the hot water tank hooked up.
As I recall, all we need to do is just wire it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we got the wiring going to it.
We do.
So, yeah. Looks like we'll have hot water out here.
I went for 8 years without a sink and hot water at my shop. And since I put it in, I don't know how I did it without it.
You did a lot better job cleaning that than Charlie would.
Yeah, his tongue gets tired after a while.
Yeah, it does. That looks great. We need to make a tapered riser for those castings. I modeled one up here. It's just a slight degree of angle, not much. We're going to run it on the Carvera Air. I've got a video that I'm working on coming up that shows using the 4th axis in more detail, but for now we just got to get this made, and I can't think of an easier, faster way to do it than to just run it on here. It's nothing complicated. The taper doesn't matter or anything like that, but you'll get to see it running the 4th axis while I'm moving equipment into the warmer room. As I said in last week's video, that riser is going to go right there. Let's try to prevent that hole. And, you know, looking at the finish, it's kind of a waste of time to even riddle them. Well, actually, it was kind of a waste of time to even cast them, wasn't it? I had to remember where I left off, and this is where I left off a couple months ago when I had to shut the job down and get back to moving other cast iron jobs. You have to do stupid stuff to remember what stupid stuff you did. We're going to try this round with a riser on there, and that should solve the problem. I will be torching these molds, feeling good about them, and get this job moving. Now, like I said, I'm going to be moving this inside where it's warm, and I got to show you guys. This is terrible. I got to do some drainage changes around here. All that sand that I just filled in where I took out all that dirt to try to make a good level bed for pouring. It washed not all of it, but it washed a good portion of my sand into the building, and I had a regular mini river come all the way through, and it went around here. It's still wet there. But anyway, we're going to empty this to bring it in the area that I've got the heat in. And I'm going to somehow get that muller out of the hole here and bring it through the double doors there where we're going to be making these molds tonight. I can't do it out here for several reasons. Temperature is finally warmed up to 32 degrees. It's going to get back down to about 18 here around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. So that means I've got to do my molding in a warm environment. There's no way this is going to work out here. And then I'll bring them out here and I'll stack them on this icy sand. I must say it is nice in here. This little thing's got the whole area warm, including in there and around the corner. Probably pushing around almost 70 degrees. I don't have a thermometer. I can work in here without having to wear my coat. Well, I'm going to run this and go ahead and get that cut out for in the morning. Staying in here where it's warm, guys. It's cold out there. But I'm going to tell you, I really like this machine. I'm not going to do a lot on this video about it, but I do have an upcoming video just using the 4th axis. I'll show you a lot of the things that I've made with it and go into more detail on it at a later point. I'm going to start hauling sand in here, and it'll be at room temperature in the morning, ready to start mulling, along with and that's going to be the tapered open riser that I'm going to put on top of those parts to see if that should resolve it. No sanding required. I like that. Alright, one less thing to worry about. Well, I'm set up molding in here, and anyway, as I went to do the first part of this operation, my sodium silicate false drag disintegrated on me. It got wet from the monsoon the other night, and then froze and separated, so we won't be using that again. So this is a better look at the castings. I've got to notch that out, but the finish is still not what I was hoping for. Maybe I didn't dry the sand out. I have to mull the sand wet and then dry it out, torch it out, because of these little fingers right here. They will not stay intact. But it does look like I need to do a better job heating the sand. But anyway, the main problem with the holes is gone now. We have no holes down in that V. This sand that looks like it washed out, it didn't. I was bright enough to take a needle, an air vent, and stick down in the hole from the backside to try to rake any loose sand out, and I accidentally hit the side walls as I was doing it. I've already shown molding this last week one way, but now that I know this is going to work, we're going to go ahead and ram this with an overhead riser. So my sodium silicate mold is destroyed, so we're going to end up having to go with the original follow block to get this job finished out, and I'm going to have to cope it down, and it's going to take time. So I will take you through this whole time-consuming process just for one little casting. As you saw last week, it went a lot faster with the sodium silicate mold. Of course, I wasn't using an overhead riser at that time. Now, you're looking at this right side up. It's going to be upside down when it's poured. And this little hole right here is going to be where the riser is going to lock into. This is the riser that you saw me making on the 4th axis of the Carvera Air earlier. Turned out looking really good, and it has just a slight degree of taper, just enough to pull straight out. It does have to be wrapped a little bit. As I said earlier, I'm going to be doing a dedicated video just on the 4th axis of the Carvera Air, showing you several different things that we make with the 4th axis. So there is a little pin sticking out at the top, and that's going to fit right in the hole on the back side of that casting. I also added a screw that sticks out about 2 inches. That allows me to wrap it just slightly and tug on it as I pull it out of the mold. Like I said, this is going to be time consuming, but we have no choice. I need to make 5 of these for tonight and get them poured, and then another 5. And then we'll be done with this particular part of the setup. The next job will be working on the handles. We have a new toy. Pardon the parting dust, but it's called the Wolf Box, and it's an actual blower that I've been using instead of the bellows, and it works great. You hold that button down and you have full power, instant trigger power. Or you can reduce the power level all the way down to that speed. But I have been going with the middle range. It's just enough power to blow any loose sand out of the mold without hurting the mold. The reason I have been using bellows all this time is bellows don't compress air and create condensation in the air. We don't want to be blowing water on our molds. Of course, tonight it's not going to matter because I had to mull the sand extra wet. With that said, we got to torch these anyway before we assemble them. And the other advantage is, even if I wanted to use compressed air, I'm nowhere near the tank now. I'm on the other side of the building, so we don't have airlines run over this way. It is handy to have, and you can carry it around in your pocket. Now, since I'm in this room, I got to come out of this jacket. By the way, if you're interested in the Carvera Air or the Wolf Box, I'm going to put a link in the description below for both these products. Now, since this sand is so wet, it doesn't want to go through the sieve as easily, and so that's part of the trade-off. I'm still going to have a good grain size on this when I'm done. I'm going to try to completely cover the pattern and the follow board, or what they call follow block. So Charlie messed up yesterday. I went to the Shell station, pulled up at the pump, and he bailed on me. That's never happened before. Dollar, I've never had to worry about her doing that. But now, I've revoked all his riding privileges. Keep in mind, Charlie's not my dog. And the last thing I want to do is have to call his owners and tell them, I took your dog to town and he jumped out and I couldn't catch him. so anyway, he bails. He's doing, I told you he can do 27 miles an hour. Well, he had reached that speed by the time he got out the door. It was like lightning. Here I go, trying to run after him. As I am chasing him around the Shell station, 3 loops. By the 3rd loop, I finally caught his butt. And there was a Hispanic truck driver pulling in as I was wrestling Charlie back into the car. And the Hispanic truck driver gets out and he's on his earpiece or on his phone talking to somebody else, and I overheard him going, "That man running." And I looked at him, he's just as chunky as I am, but he wasn't running. Anyway, Charlie's days of riding around with Dollar and myself are over. Luckily, Dollar wasn't with him, So I don't have to worry about her picking up any bad habits from him. And as I've said before, I have to go real gentle around the pattern, which is right up here. I did break that pattern several months back, and it took a day and a half for the epoxy to fully cure and hold it. So I don't have a day and a half to wait on this. We're down to hours on trying to get all this stuff done for the customer. And it has completely shut me down on everything else. So we've got to get this done in the next, it's got to be done ASAP. We gotta do a lot of additional coping now. So as I told you before, these steep sides are not gonna work. They have to be, we have to slope all this down in order to keep from breaking everything. So we have to get rid of that side wall, this side wall, all the way down to here. And then we gotta get rid of this. Now if I was using a resin mold, this wouldn't be an issue, but for green sand, it is. Gotta get rid of this and that. The only thing I'm basically leaving are any horizontal planes that I have no question will pull clean. So I'm basically just making a bowl. Can't have any catches. bit of a ledge there we got to get rid of. I hope I'm explaining this right. I hope you can kind of understand why I have to do it like this. And basically, this is going to be pretty close to the way the false drag, the sodium silicate mold that I was using. It's basically going to look just like it. Only problem is I have to hand cut it each time for each individual casting now. Because these sidewalls, even though they have draft angle, they may as well just be a straight 90 degree. They couldn't be any more difficult. All right. So that's some additional time that I didn't want to have to spend. So as with the last time, we're almost doing the same thing we were doing last week, with the exception of that riser we're going to put in. Handy little tool, isn't it? Alright, so I got some stubborn sand. I got it. All right. Now there is zero air circulation in this room, so this dust just kind of stays there until I inhale it anyway. And this riser is going to go right there. But I'm not going to try to even put it in place yet until I get some sand in it. Like I said, that little pin has to go right in that little hole. And it's locked in. I'm not going to put much in here yet. That's probably enough. As I said last week, I have to concentrate a little harder right here and here, and that's where those finger joints are. The main reason I don't, this is the biggest headache with ramming up something with a riser, having to try to strike the mold off with that in the way. Just more time wasted. So I don't want to collapse this hole and pull this out ahead of time, because when I go to cutting the sprue in the basin, that adds side pressure to the mold, which would cause this to cave in. So I'm pulling that only after these two are cut. Now on that last pour at the beginning of this video, I had a lot better success hitting the basin, and that's because I put just a little bit of a chamfer on it, just to make it a little bigger. Come on. This has got me worried. It took a little of that shoulder off, but we're okay. Now, there was a, I want to turn this way. I don't know if you can see that, but the hole, the intersection of the riser, there is a light debris of sand right there. And I was using my, this vent to go down there and gently clean that up. And what I was doing, I was actually rubbing the sidewalls of that tongue that the riser's connected to. So I was just creating more side wash. It looked like sand broke off. Well, it was from me raking that, so I'm not going to do that again. So the only thing I have left to do, I'm going to leave that alone, and we'll dust it just a little bit more. And run that blower on it before we torch it. The only thing I have left to do is cut the gate and the runner to connect that to the sprue, which is right there. And I'm going to turn this up on edge to do that. I'm so used to it. All we got to do is torch it, reassemble it. Let us do this 3 more times and get to pouring. Round of those things. Very slowly bringing her up to 1800. We have all those hooks cast now. So now I'm going to do the handles. We've already made a couple of the molds. This is them. They had shrinkage right here on one side, and the way I'm going to position them is this way. Now I'm putting this overkill riser between the two. I'm giving it probably an 1/8 of an inch space. About like that. Yeah, that'll work. And we'll center this box the best we can. Now, they're very long, so we don't want to spring a leak when we're pouring these. That wind is screaming tonight. It's supposed to get down. This is into the next frozen weekend now. It's supposed to get down to 19 degrees. So I am really enjoying this little work area I made. It's nice and cozy. And actually, I could run the heater on up and pull this sweatshirt off. But the problem is I got to go outside to put the molds in place. So I'm not going to be taking clothes on and off as I do this for every mold. And Charlie, he can't figure out if he wants to be inside or outside. I had him in here with me a while ago, and he started that crying, wanting to go out. And Dollar and Buddy are insisting on staying out there as well. My daughter came out today, and I gotta tell you, she gave me a Christmas present. Best Christmas present I ever got in my life. I'm gonna be a grandfather. Yes, my friends, I am gonna have a granddaughter. Yep, a granddaughter. We already know what the sex is, but I'm kind of walking on top of the world right now, because I know I know from my analytics I got a whole lot of grandpas out there watching this. It's my first walk down that road, and so I'm very excited about this. I'm already making big plans for her, and my daughter, she doesn't know the half of it. So the patterns that I'm using in this are they're failed castings that I went ahead and added filler to. With that said, the draft angle is all over the place. And I'm gonna have to kind of improvise on this. Before I even try to cope it down, I'm going to firm up that sand around these, and I'm pushing on both sides just to give it good even pressure and not want to kick it up this way or that way. Now I'm going to cope it down. Now I'm not going all the way to the center line of these. I'm just taking down just a little bit of the shoulders at this point. And then I'm going to wrap them, and that is going to break out the sand where it needs to be tuned in. Yeah, I am ready for summer, guys. I am sick of this weather. But back to my grandbaby, my granddaughter, now that I found out what it is. She's due in August. So I have 5 months to patiently wait. Alright. So now we're gonna wrap this and loosen them on up. Like I said, I did not go all the way down. We'll be able to take care of that here shortly. just going to lightly wrap, kind of in the middle of the mass for now. A little bit here, but not mostly. I'm going to concentrate on this thicker end. I'm going to hit her over there, a little light tap on the tail. A heavier wrap here. And then we're going to turn the mold 180 degrees. And you're going to see what's going to happen here in a minute. So I've got to make sure I keep this one on this side, this one on this side. I'm going to flip the mold over, and I'll probably keep my thumb on this one. Let that one drop. That way okay. And we'll put this over here. I have to remember they got to go in like this. So I'm going to turn them like that in case I lose track when I'm flipping and flopping the mold. Now you see these dark areas where it tore the sand out? That means I have to come on down with a parting line, and I'm going to keep it at just a slight degree of angle and take off the sand in those areas to clean that parting line up, because like I said, it goes all over the place on these patterns. Now I'm turning it on an angle kind of like this, just to let the gravity keep that sand away. See what I'm talking about? I'm just taking the overall plane where those dark edges show and bringing it down. Now, these two sides were okay. I mean, they weren't that bad. This side and this area right here is a different story. So we're going to go ahead and hopefully you can see that. See the parting line drop way down there. And then it's kind of high up here. Now, as long as you do this, you'll have an exceptional, you'll have very little flashing. All right, I'd say, I think I need to take out just a little more here and here. And here. All right. As I said, we have it positioned right, like we did earlier. And I'm going to get it as close as I can and drop it in there. Carefully, without breaking any edges if I can help it. Alright, that feels good. Now, we're going to put a riser. I'm going to set this back just a little bit because I'm going to punch my sprue pretty close to that. I'm going to be a granddad. And I'm going to dust it a little more. kind of hold this riser in place. It's kind of loose. Wants to wiggle a little bit. I'll just firm that up right there. Try to help lock it in. So the customer is coming Sunday afternoon. That's and this is Friday. So my plan tonight is to pour 12 successful handles, and then I'll be able to spend tomorrow, which is Saturday, grinding all these pieces and getting them finished up for the customer to pick up. Let's hope it works like that. A lot of this depends on the pour tonight. So if I screw up pouring them tonight, I won't be going to bed. I'm going to be working through the night to recast these because it's already about 9 o'clock. And let's just hope that doesn't happen. My plan is to pour 12 good castings tonight. Wait about a half hour, break the molds, verify that, go to bed, and start off tomorrow morning refreshed and ready to grind and wire wheel everything. Now, I have to be very close to the edge of the flask because of the position of that riser. All right, now because I have them really loose in the drag, they're probably going to want to bond to the cope if I were to pick it up like this. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to flip it over, because if they if I pull the cope the way this is right now, and they grab to the cope, then as I get them on up here, one or both of them possibly could drop and damage the other side of the mold. So to be on the safe side, we're going to try to avoid that. And we have a clean parting line there and there. Now I'm going to cut the gate in the drag. I'm going to avoid cutting in right here. And that'll let everything fill from the bottom up. So my gates are going to be in this thin little band right there. That's it. I'll lightly press that down. That's a pretty fragile corner already, so I'm not going to try to slick it. And I'll go ahead and torch this one while we're there. And actually, I need to clean the basin out too. The whole thing works good. I'm going to hit this spot right here. Even though I'm cutting the gate in the drag, this will kind of help harden that surface. Now before I torch this one, here's the imprint of my blind riser. I'm going to come right down the middle and tie into my bottom of the sprue. So the gate is actually going to be overhead. So this is ready to take outside in the cold weather. I'll be right back. All right, so that is mold number 3. We got 3 more to make. I'm going to try to knock those out and fire the furnace up and pour the rest of these. I'll bring you back as we get to that point. Keep your fingers crossed that this is the last of this job. I hope I pull these off the first time. This is the handles. quite have enough to make that last one. We'll dump what we got in about a half hour and see what it looks like, and then pour the last one along with any others we may have to remold. I hope we don't come in here where it's warm and wait for about a half hour. It is midnight, and I'm going to try to get up early in the morning and detail these castings. I'm concerned about this pour. The first few molds didn't look right, and I don't know. I'm probably just imagining it. I'm tired of this, guys. This is rough. It's jobs like this that really bring me to my knees. We'll see. I completely forgot to get any of the castings on video or stills. I put the camera down that following day. Yes, the handles all poured successfully, thank goodness. I didn't have to go back and rerun those again. There's 3 different castings for that job. Every single thing had to be recast at least twice. And it was a lot of issues with 1, material, 2, the pyrometer, and 3, the molding techniques that no one taught me about on this particular job that I ran into and had to figure out myself and problem solve. Now that I know it, I could do it a lot easier. A lot easier. And the customer did leave me the pattern, so we're not going to be in such a big rush this time. We're going to go ahead and get him another dozen casts as we get back on everything else, and we'll be able to do a lot better job on it this time, I hope. And when that time comes, I promise I will get from the beginning to the end and show you the end product. It just didn't work out this time. I was under a lot of stress. The clock was ticking down fast, and I just did not think to capture any of this on video or stills for that matter. I have had a couple days to mentally heal. I know that sounds silly, but that job kicked my butt, and I was under a lot of pressure, as you could probably tell. And anyway, the next time we do this job, we won't have maintenance right in the middle of the whole thing, and hopefully we'll get it done well before he actually needs them this time. So I'll be able to take my time and do it right, knowing the techniques that I learned for using these particular patterns that I thought were going to go, and I honestly thought this job would be done in a week. Little did I know I'd be recasting everything at least twice. And there's 3 different parts to this kit. But we'll get back to that at some point, and I'll get a good quality beginning to end video with no maintenance issues interrupting us as I show this product and how it should look when it leaves the door. Also, Keith Rucker has supplied me with a lot of patterns. I'll show them to you. This is them, and we're going to be doing these on next week's videos. So hopefully we won't run into the issues we have been running into lately. But yes, I took a 2-day break to mentally heal, and I needed it. I really did. Josie and I as I showed you a few weeks ago, we had to make a new lid for the iron melting furnace, and that completely crumbled on me. And I think it crumbled mainly because it was way over expired by several years. This stuff does have a shelf life. I think it's like a 10-month shelf life. So Josie and I went to Gonzales, picked up a bag, and anyway, I just finished the night before ramming that up, and I'm going to let it set for about a week before I even disturb it. I'll show it to you as I break it out of the mold. With all this said, I'm also somehow, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I swear I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I pulled one miracle off this week. I may as well shoot for another one. Finish this building up by the end of the month. Haven't figured out how I'm going to do it, but it's going to happen. I've got someone I think is willing to help me now. I don't want to say too much because that could backfire like the last couple have, but I have someone that's interested in mold making for me, and instead of doing it out here in the dungeon, I want to have it done over here in this corner. I want to have doors in by the end of the month. I want to get the service door finished, get it up. That won't be opened all the time, just for bringing stuff in and out. Get all these walls mudded, sanded, painted. The spray foam guy is coming anytime now. We're going to get the ceiling done, get all this enclosed, get it airtight. And then I'll be able to focus on organization. First time I'll have been able to do that, and I don't know when. I'm very excited. It's at the same time, I still haven't figured out how I'm going to do it. I want that individual to have a good, organized environment to work in, unlike the way I've been having to do things. I'm not going to have that person starting out there in the dungeon where I've been doing all this work. If it's cold, I'm cold. If it's hot, I'm hot out there. And I don't want to put someone else through what I had to deal with. Hey, Dollar. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know what's going to happen over the next couple weeks. I've got a customer in Jackson that is a new customer of mine, and they've been wanting to come out here, and I've been putting them off. I want them to come out here, I really do, but there's no way I'm going to let them see this. I want it to look as nice as it's going to look in 2 weeks. And at the same time, work, right? Keep my work going and work through this mess. So, I don't know. I got a lot on my plate. One of the other things I was going to do was have this thing listed on eBay by the 1st of this month, and that didn't happen yet. I'm still trying to figure out when I'm going to do that. I had a buyer, and something changed, and anyway, now it's going back for sale on eBay, and I will let you guys know when I list that, because I got to get it out of here. I need to make room for some other machines that are going to go in this room. That's all I got for this video. You'll probably see other things being done in next week's video other than brass work. These 1-hour videos that I'm making now, I don't know how long I'll be doing them like this, but it's actually easier for me to edit than trying to trim one down to a half hour. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great remainder of this weekend. Sounds like somebody outside is. It's a little too dark to be hunting, isn't it? But anyway, as I was saying, I hope you have a great remainder of the weekend, and we will talk to you next week. For those who have been asking about the Windy Hill Foundry hats, these are now available on my website, windyhillfoundry.com, under stores, or you can click on the above link. These are on the pricey side, but keep in mind the shipping is included. Have a good day.